A 73-year-old woman started eating 10 dates a day, and amazing things began to happen to her. And if you start eating them too, wonderful things will happen to you as well. She came in slowly, with a tired face and very warm eyes. She was 73. "Doctor," she said, "I'm not complaining. It just feels like my battery is running out too soon. I wake up already feeling exhausted." I listened to her and decided not to prescribe any medication. Instead, I recommended dates. Yes, just 10 dates a day. A month later, she returned with these words. "Amazing things have started happening to me." Before this, everything felt normal. In the morning, she had coffee and a cracker. During the day, rice and a few vegetables. By the evening, she just didn't have the energy to cook. Her sleep was restless. Her mood was stable but devoid of joy. Her skin was dry, and her eyes looked a bit dull. But she never complained. She simply tried to hold on quietly. I could see she was missing deep, nourishing food. Her tests showed typical results for her age: low ferritin, fragile blood vessels, signs of magnesium and fiber deficiency. She wasn't starving, but she wasn't truly nourishing herself either. As we age, our bodies stop forgiving empty calories. I explained to her that dates are more than just a sweet treat. They are soft power. They contain potassium, magnesium, iron, B vitamins, and natural fiber. If she ate them every day, her body would start to come alive from the inside. How do they work? Dates nourish the blood. They improve gut function, regulate blood pressure, and provide the brain with glucose without causing sharp spikes. They are especially important for women over 60 when the body begins to lose iron and the gut becomes more sensitive. These fruits act like quiet helpers. They don't overwhelm, don't trigger cravings for sweets, but instead restore warmth and stability to the body. If we don't supply our bodies with the necessary nutrients, something terrible will happen. We will age from the inside out, unnoticed. Fatigue, brittle nails, insomnia, sudden anxieties. These are not just traits of character. They stem from our nutrition. We feel tired because our bodies are starving, not in terms of quantity, but in terms of quality. Do you know what happened to her a month later? A month later, she came back, with shining eyes. I wake up and feel the urge to do something. My appetite has returned, constipation is gone, and I started remembering my dreams. And all of this from just 10 dates a day. We will break down step by step what exactly changed in her body. Because miracles aren't always fairy tales. Sometimes it's simply nutrition that we've underestimated our whole lives. I highly recommend watching this video to the end to prepare yourself for real miracles. Also, share this video with your loved ones. They will thank you for it. And here's how her miracles began. The first miracle was simple but incredibly important. The heaviness in her stomach disappeared. For over 10 years, she had been struggling with intestinal issues, sometimes constipation, sometimes bloating, sometimes rumbling after meals. And as often happens, she had resigned herself to it. She drank more water, occasionally took laxatives, but by evening, she always felt a lump inside. So what happened next? When she started eating 10 dates a day, initially just as a snack between meals, after 4 days, she called me. "Doctor," she said, "for the first time in a long time, there's silence inside me. I feel light. I didn't think this was possible." Why do dates have such an effect on digestion? Dates are rich in natural fiber, but unlike raw vegetables or coarse grains, Their fiber is soft and smooth. It doesn't irritate the intestines. Instead, it coats them from the inside, stimulating peristalsis and helping to restore the mucous membrane. Additionally, dates nourish beneficial bacteria, eliminate pathogenic microflora, and reduce inflammation. Their magnesium content helps gently relax smooth muscles, reducing cramps and bloating. All of this makes dates an ideal food for sluggish digestion, especially in people over 60. In the second example, she said, "I used to not even notice how I was tightening my stomach. It became a habit. Now I catch myself wanting to avoid reaching for my belt or lying down after eating. I've started to feel a sense of calm inside." These words weren't just about the intestines, they were about my inner state, because when the heaviness in the body lifts, the heaviness in the soul lifts too. Listen carefully. How to properly eat dates for gut health. For a cleansing effect, it's important not only to eat dates, but to do so at the right time and with intention. The best time is in the morning on an empty stomach, 3-4 dates, and then another 2-3 dates between lunch and dinner. You can soak them in warm water overnight to make them even softer. Avoid washing them down with cold drinks. It's better to have warm tea or just water. Also, don't combine them with heavy protein foods. Allow your body to experience their benefits separately. The second miracle was as follows. 2 weeks after starting the date ritual, she came to see me again. As soon as she walked in, she said, "I wake up feeling like moving. I have energy. Not the jolt from coffee, not the artificial boost from sweets, but a calm, warm energy. I didn't even think about my coffee today." For her, this was a real turning point. Previously, she needed strong tea or a cup of coffee just to kickstart her morning, and by lunchtime, she was already feeling drained. Now, her energy remained steady, without spikes or crashes. How do dates help maintain your energy levels? Dates are one of the rare foods where natural sugars, glucose and fructose, are combined with fiber and potassium. This means that energy is released into the bloodstream gradually, without sudden spikes. The body doesn't release insulin, doesn't store fat, and isn't overloaded. Instead, there's a steady background of energy, creating a sense of inner support. Plus, they contain B vitamins that enhance nerve impulse conduction and magnesium, which helps relieve hidden tension. This isn't doping, it's nutrition that works in harmony with the body. A woman noticed something very important. She shared that in the past, after lunch, she would experience a slump. Her head would feel heavy, her eyelids would droop, and it felt like someone had turned off the light inside. This was alarming for her. She tried not to eat too much, but nothing helped. With dates, everything changed. She started eating them 20-30 minutes before lunch, 23 pieces. "It's like I'm giving myself a safety net," she said, "and my body is grateful. Lunch goes smoothly, and I stay energized. I've stopped fearing food." If you notice a drop in energy after eating, start preparing in advance. Eating 23 dates 20 minutes before a meal ignites a gentle fire in your body, prepares your stomach, and nourishes your blood. If you'd like, you can have 1 date after lunch with warm tea. Just be sure not to mix them with milk, meat, or fatty dishes. It's best to eat dates slowly and mindfully, as if you're having a conversation with your body. I'm here to help you. The third point was this. 3 weeks later, she came back to me with a different gait and a different look, as if something inside her had aligned. "Doctor," she said, "I've started remembering things. I don't forget why I walked into a room. It's easier for me to concentrate, and I can read a newspaper without having to read the same line 3 times. It feels like a curtain has been lifted in my mind. And this isn't a coincidence. It's the effect of nutrition that restores brain function at the cellular level without pills or stimulants. How do dates affect your brain? Dates contain glucose, but not the kind that harms your blood vessels. Instead, it's a gentle form linked with fiber and essential nutrients. Glucose is the only source of energy for neurons. However, what's even more important is that dates are rich in B vitamins, particularly B6, which plays a crucial role in transmitting nerve impulses, enhancing memory, and reducing anxiety. Additionally, they contain potassium and magnesium, minerals that nourish the brain, stabilize blood pressure, and improve sleep. So, what happens as a result? When the brain receives proper nutrition, it starts functioning not abruptly, but like it does after a good rest, calmly, clearly, and focused. She said one phrase that stuck with me. I stopped being afraid of forgetting. That was the scariest part. Not fatigue or stomach issues, but the feeling that my thoughts were slipping away. Now I feel like I'm in control again. This return to myself is the best thing food can offer. Without caffeine, without medications, just the natural sweetness that supports both body and soul. An important tip on how to eat dates for brain and memory support? The best time is in the morning. Consume 3 to 4 dates on an empty stomach, accompanied by warm water or green tea. This will provide a boost of glucose and vitamins for the day. Another method is to eat a couple of dates 30 to 40 minutes before engaging in mentally demanding tasks like reading, writing, or socializing. It pairs perfectly with walnuts or sesame seeds. This simple practice offers gentle support without any harshness or pressure. Just a tender nourishment for the brain, filled with love and attention. Another remarkable outcome she experienced. A month later, she came in with a quiet, almost shy smile. Doctor, I'm sleeping. I don't just fall asleep. I sink into a warm, deep sleep and wake up without anxiety. For someone who has tossed and turned at night for years, falling asleep to the TV and waking up at 3 a.m. with a weight on my chest, this feels like a miracle. But it's not magic. The body finally received what it had long been craving: nourishment for the nervous system and a restoration of its internal rhythms. How do dates affect your sleep? Dates contain the amino acid tryptophan, which is a natural precursor for the production of serotonin and subsequently melatonin, the sleep hormone. Along with magnesium and potassium, dates help relieve internal muscle tension, stabilize the nervous system, and initiate the process of quieting the mind. Most importantly, unlike sleeping pills, they do not cause dependency, disrupt sleep cycles, or compromise natural rhythms, especially for those who have lived in a state of chronic fatigue for many years. She shared that evenings used to be the most anxious time for her. She feared she wouldn't be able to fall asleep, worrying about tossing and turning, replaying old news in her mind, and staring at the ceiling. But now, she says, her body starts to yawn at 9 p.m. By 10, she feels ready to turn everything off. It's as if someone takes her by the hand and leads her into calmness. That's how she described the effect of dates on her sleep: peaceful, gentle, and effortless. Write down how to use dates to improve sleep. In the evening, 1 hour before bedtime, consume 2 or 3 dates with warm water, chamomile tea, or lemon balm infusion. Avoid washing them down with cold beverages and don't combine them with heavy meals. It's best to create a peaceful environment with soft lighting, a short walk, or some reading. This ritual works not by sheer force, but through consistency. After just a week, your body will recognize this signal and begin to fall asleep more easily, while your mind will experience deeper restoration. The latest miracle that happened is one of the most important. At the last appointment, she sat in front of me with an expression that's hard to put into words. There was no euphoria, no emotional highs, just silence, confidence. "Doctor," she said, "I no longer need to encourage myself or hold myself back. I simply am. Balanced, calm. I don't cry for no reason, but I also don't have a lump in my throat." We both knew this conversation was about more than just dates. It was about how her body finally received the nourishment that grounds her. How do dates affect your emotional state? As we age, our nervous system becomes more sensitive. Lack of sleep, magnesium deficiency, and sugar spikes all contribute to heightened anxiety, irritability, and vulnerability. Dates work differently. They don't stimulate, they nourish. They contain tryptophan, which transforms into serotonin, the hormone of satisfaction. They also provide magnesium, which helps reduce muscle tension and alleviates inner restlessness. Most importantly, dates stabilize blood sugar levels, which directly impacts our mood. When there are no sharp rises and falls in sugar, there are no extreme emotions. Everything feels calmer, warmer, and more stable. She confessed the following. In the past, any minor irritation, like waiting in line, noise, or bad news, would bring her to tears or provoke a deep anger. Now she can hear these things and let them pass, not because she has become indifferent, but because she has found inner stability. "I don't react," she said, "because I have something to rely on. I feel calm. I am centered. This isn't about the external world. It's about returning to my inner home." And surprisingly, dates have become her key to this state. Would you like to experience this too? How to use dates for emotional balance. The best time is when you feel off balance. Before bed, after receiving distressing news, or in the middle of the day. Enjoy 1 or 2 dates slowly, with warm water or tea. Think of it not as just food, but as a gesture of self-care. Make it a moment of pause. Sit down, breathe, and eat a date as a symbol that you are choosing support over anxiety. This ritual is like a warm hand on your shoulder. "I'm here. Everything will be all right." Let's summarize and highlight the most important points. A woman came to me feeling worn out, dull, with a constant heaviness in her stomach, anxiety in her mind, and insomnia in her eyes. She left feeling calm, confident, with a lighter body and a vibrant gaze. It all started with one simple action. She began eating 10 dates a day, not because it's trendy, but because it's nourishing. In these small fruits, she found what had been missing for decades: warmth, richness, and care. And this brought her 5 real miracles: a healthy gut, stable energy, clarity of mind, deep sleep, a calm, warm mood. This isn't a medicine, it's not a program, it's a habit. In the morning, have 34 dates, a couple more during the day. In the evening, enjoy them with warm tea. And most importantly, take your time. Treat it as a gesture of self-care. Not as a strict obligation, but as, "I'm here. I hear what you want. I'm giving you what nourishes you." You can start today. Just grab some dates, lay them out, take a pause, and feel your breath settle inside. What if it's not for me? You don't have to eat all 10 at once. Start with 3. Tune in to how you feel. If your body feels heavy, stop. If you want more, go ahead and add some. Dates don't require strictness. They require your attention. This isn't a magical cure-all. It's an invitation to change. You don't have to change everything. You can simply start to listen to yourself. Give it a try. Not for the results, but for the self-care. Open the pack. Feel the dates. Notice how warm, dense, and vibrant they are. And say to yourself, I am not denying myself. I am coming back, gently, sweetly, every day, a little bit at a time. Sometimes the deepest transformations start not with analysis, but with a date eaten mindfully. You wake up not with heaviness, but with a light sense of presence. You don't seek ways to energize yourself because your body is full of resources. You eat not by schedule, but by intuition. You fall asleep not in anxiety, but in gratitude. And your day passes not in survival, but in living. At the center of it all is you. And 10 dates serve as a small anchor for returning to yourself.